We're grateful for each and every one of you. Let us know where in the world you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let's begin. Jack leaned back in his chair, the hum of the television mixing with the rhythmic clicking of Emma's fingers on her phone. It was a quiet evening, the kind that usually brought a sense of peace, but something felt off. Emma was smiling, but her eyes, those deep hazel eyes he once lost himself in, looked distant, detached. "Everything okay?" he asked, his voice filled with concern. Emma glanced up, her smile faltering for a moment before she nodded. "Yeah, just tired." Jack's stomach tightened. She had been acting strangely for weeks now. Late nights at work, sudden phone calls she took in another room, and a growing distance between them that he couldn't quite explain. He had asked himself repeatedly if he was just being paranoid. After all, 7 years of marriage had its ups and downs. But tonight, something about the way she held her phone, her thumbs moving rapidly across the screen, made his heart race with unease. "You sure?" he pressed, leaning forward. Emma's smile returned, but it was thin, almost forced. "Positive. Why don't you go ahead and get some rest? I'll join you in a bit." Jack hesitated, but eventually nodded, heading upstairs. As he lay in bed, his mind raced with possibilities. He thought back to the little things, the perfume lingering on her when the bombshell hit. "I want to sleep with Tom." The room fell into a suffocating silence. Jack stared at her, convinced he had misheard. "Excuse me?" Emma's voice was calm, measured. "I want to sleep with my boss, Tom, and I want you to watch." Jack's world spun. His chest tightened as her words echoed in his mind. "You've got to be joking," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "I'm not," Emma replied, her eyes unwavering. "I've talked to Tom about it. He thinks it could be an incredible experience for both of us. It's not about love. It's about exploring new dynamics. You've always been more submissive, and he's—" Jack shot to his feet. "Submissive?" His voice cracked with anger. "Are you out of your mind?" Emma stood up as well, her tone hardening. "I'm asking you to trust me. This could be a turning point for us, Jack. I need you to understand." Jack cut her off, his hands trembling. "No. What I understand is that you've already crossed lines, haven't you? How long, Emma? How long has this been going on?" Her silence was answer enough. "Jesus Christ," Jack muttered, running his hands through his hair. "You're telling me you haven't slept with him yet, but you've been thinking about it, planning it." Emma's gaze faltered, and she took a step toward him. "I swear, it's only been ideas, fantasies. We haven't done anything." Jack's laugh was cold and humorless. "And I'm supposed to believe that? God, Emma, do you even hear yourself?" Emma reached for him, but Jack stepped back. His heart was breaking, but beneath the pain, something darker was rising. "Get out," he said quietly, his voice trembling. "I need some space." Emma hesitated. Her eyes filled. He picked up his own phone and began searching for Sarah, Tom's wife. They had met briefly at company events, a kind, elegant woman who clearly had no idea about her husband's deceit. He found her Instagram profile and sent her a simple message. "Hi, Sarah, I'm Jack, Emma's husband. We need to talk. It's about Tom." Her response came almost immediately. "What about Tom?" Jack hesitated, knowing this was about to shatter her world. He replied, "It's serious. Can we meet?" An hour later, they met at a quiet cafe. Sarah arrived, visibly anxious, her eyes searching for answers. Jack wasted no time, laying out everything, the texts, the plans, the lies. Tears welled up in Sarah's eyes as she scrolled through the screenshots Jack had gathered. "I can't believe this," she whispered, her voice breaking. "All this time, I thought we were just in a rough patch." Jack nodded, his own voice tight with emotion. "I know how you feel, but I'm done being the victim. We need to take control." Sarah wiped her tears and met his gaze, a newfound resolve in her expression. "Then let's make them pay." Over the next few days, Jack and Sarah worked together to devise a plan. Their initial goal was simple: expose Emma and Tom for what they were. But as their discussions deepened, Sarah proposed something bolder. "Let's humiliate them," she said, her eyes flashing with intensity. "They want to make you watch? Let's turn the tables." Jack was taken aback, but intrigued. "What do you have in mind?" Sarah leaned in, her voice low and determined. "We'll stage our own little show. Let them see us together. Let them feel the same pain and betrayal they've inflicted on us." At first, Jack was hesitant. The idea of pretending to be with Sarah felt extreme. "I'll do anything," Emma said, desperation in her voice. But Jack shook his head. "It's too late. You killed this marriage the moment you conspired with Tom. We're done." Meanwhile, Sarah had her own confrontation. She met Tom in a lawyer's office, where he looked disheveled and desperate. "Sarah, please," Tom begged, his voice shaky. "You don't have to do this. We can fix things." Sarah scoffed. "Fix things? You lied to me, cheated on me, and tried to destroy another marriage for your sick games. There's no fixing this." Tom's eyes darted between Sarah and the lawyer, his confidence shattered. "It was just a mistake. Emma seduced me. I didn't mean for it to go this far." Sarah leaned in, her voice low and sharp. "You meant every word you said to her. You wanted to humiliate Jack, make him feel small. Well, now it's your turn. You'll lose your job, your house, and any respect you ever had." Tom's face paled as Sarah's words sank in. She stood, her composure unshaken. "This is over, Tom. I'll see you in court." In the weeks that followed, Jack and Sarah leaned on each other for support. Their shared pain became the foundation for something new, something neither of them had expected. Late one evening, Jack and Sarah sat on her porch, the stars stretching out above them. "Do you ever think about what's next?" Sarah asked softly. Jack took a deep breath. "Sometimes. But for now, I'm just glad we're free of them." Sarah smiled, her eyes reflecting a mix of relief and cautious hope. "Me too." Their bond deepened as they shared stories, laughter, and moments of quiet understanding. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And for the first time in a long while, Jack felt like he could breathe again. Months later, Jack finalized his divorce from. "We deserve a chance to see where this could go," Jack said. Sarah smiled, a mixture of hope and uncertainty in her eyes. "Then let's take it one day at a time." Meanwhile, Emma and Tom's lives spiraled further out of control. After losing his job, Tom struggled to find work, his reputation tarnished by Sarah's revelations. His financial troubles mounted, and he eventually had to sell his car and move into a smaller apartment. Emma fared no. "Jack, I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I just want you to know how sorry I am. I made the biggest mistake of my life, and I'll regret it forever. I hope you find happiness, even if it's not with me." Jack listened to the message but didn't respond. He had made peace with his past and had no intention of reopening old wounds. As Jack and Sarah continued to heal, they decided to take a trip together, a chance to escape their past and explore a new future. They chose a quiet, scenic cabin by a lake, far from the chaos of their everyday lives. On their first night there, as they sat by the fire, Sarah turned to Jack, her eyes reflecting the flickering flames. "I've never felt this at peace," she said softly. Jack reached for her hand, his touch gentle but firm. "Neither have I. And I think it's because, for the first time in a long time, we're free." They sat in comfortable silence, the weight of their shared past lifting with each passing moment.